I'm going to travel with my boyfriend. Well, boyfriend sounds like a teenager. He's my partner. Partner in crime, partner in love. So, and we are together for 8 years now. And in our first year of being together, we traveled after 5 months of being together to India, and it was such a big deal to me because it was always a wish for me traveling to India. I knew that India wasn't going to be like the Bollywood movies, of course, but I thought the spirit, like the costumes, the saris, and the music and the joy, the colors and everything, I will find there. And I did. So that was the first time we went to India. And it was our first vacation ever together. We had such a good time, and it was a hard time too, because India is not for traveling beginners, at least not the north of India. Our plane landed in Delhi, New Delhi, and we stayed there for, I guess, 3 nights. So we went to Old Delhi Market, and we went to the main train station to buy some train tickets to ride to, I guess it was Agra, oh no, or Jaipur, or Varanasi. I can't remember. But yeah, there we always travel with a travel guide. It's a book called Lose, and Stefan Lose is the one who brought up this book in a different style. Everything is like in black writing and orange pictures. And the design of that travel book is with less pictures but more detailed information. So when you travel when you travel with that book, I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. When you travel with that book, with that travel guide, you get a really good idea of how the places are gonna be and habits. For example, there was a chapter about being scammed. So scams, every country does have its own scams, scamming people. I must say, in India, of course it is always not a good feeling being scammed, but somehow in India I can't be angry at that people who scam really hard in India. The living is hard. The living in India seems like a mixture of tradition. Speaking of the caste system, I don't know the word in English, but it's like you belong to a special place in the society, and you never have the chance of getting out of that place society gives you because of birth. Yeah, when you are in the lowest place of society, so called, then you have no other chance of living in like slums or on the streets. There are some people who are mostly men who are rickshaw driver, and they sleep in their rickshaws because they have nothing else. It's their home. And on the other hand, there's tremendously much wealth that is even for Europeans unimaginable. Like people who are just, being wealthy because they were born into a rich family and taking over the company of the family, something like that. So it's a system which is not very humanly, but on the other hand, somehow the people I experienced are very open and curious and want to have contact and want to talk to you and want to make selfies, which was very strange. I felt like an attraction, like, in the centuries before, when I don't know, people were shown into a manege, into a circus manege, where because of their looks, because they're looking different. Yeah, so that's a little bit weird, and I don't know why they want to make selfies. I didn't ask, but they want to make selfies. Maybe they think it brings them luck or something, that some karma of I don't know what they think is getting on them. I have no idea, but it's a phenomenon and it's really strange. But that was for the first time, and the second time we went there in 2022. We exactly knew what was the thing with the selfies, and so we were okay with that, and we said, yeah, okay, then let's make selfies. And they make selfies with us, and we make selfies with them. And my partner real camera with an objective thing like this, like it's a digital camera with like a real photographer camera, and with that he make pictures, really nice pictures of people, situations, atmosphere and buildings and the people as well. And when he make pictures, he sometimes he make them without consent and just like a hiding moment, but most of the time he's making eye contact and kind of asking if it's okay for the person to being photographed, and afterwards he shows them the pictures. And all the cases I was with him, he all the people were very happy about the pictures he made. So yeah, so it feels like they're really reaching out and they're curious and want to have contact somehow. Most of the time it's really just that, it's like just make a selfie and then go, because most of the time we're on the run and visiting some places and walking around, and there is no chance of getting into a dialogue. But I remember some places we went, we had some conversations. I remember at Elora Cage, which are various types of cages, caves, not cages, caves. A cave, very much caves are was caved out of the mountains with nice Buddhism reliefs. So, and at that place there weren't much tourists, European tourists, mostly Indian tourists, Indian people. So there were a lot chatty with us, because when we sat down for making a break, having a break, they sitting with us and talking to us where we come from. And I had a conversation with a young student about, he was asking how the living in Europe feels like, and he was telling me about how the living in India feels like for him. And I remember one or two particular moments at the second travel we had. We traveled to Hampi, and in Hampi there is a big temple. It is a Hindu temple, and there are living a lot of monkeys, different kind of monkeys, macaque, the macaca apes, different kinds of, two different kinds of. The ones with the black faces and the really long arms and legs, and when they're standing up there, when they're grown up, they're tall as, I don't know, they reach till, I don't know, they're 120 meters or so. And there are the little macacos, the small ones, but they're really cheeky and sometimes dangerous too. You have to be very respectful and careful with them. And they're the real scammers, you know. They're really they always like thieves, stealing your stuff, your bags, your your bags, when you've got your lunch in it, or when you've got, I don't know, even cameras. They took it and they throw everything out, which does not interest them, and they're always on looking for food. And yeah, they're really funny and crazy and dangerous sometimes. And we joined a procession. It was with an elephant living there in the temple. And the Mahout, which is the owner of that elephant, I think it's somehow sad that the elephant is not able living with other elephants in its own natural habitat, but on the other hand, maybe it wouldn't be that good, because there are a lot of, I don't think there are a lot of good places for wild animals on our planets anymore. So I think maybe they are better in reservoirs, or even with their modes. And yeah, so the elephant gets bananas and got fed by people, fed them with bananas, me as well. And because elephants love bananas, they love banana sandwiches as well. Yeah, and so we were during that possession, and I'm not quite sure what he was talking about, but it felt like magic. And afterwards, we were going back to our accommodation, and still was we still were in that temple. And it's a real big area where different buildings are, and so we went back, and on that way, on the left hand and on the right hand, from that middle aisle, were sitting people on the floor on blankets, and various people, and having dinner on the floor and just eating there, and were asking us to join them. But I was too shy, and I was a little bit afraid that I'm not that very good in my digestion if I try some food, because normally they eat very, very spicy, you know. Yeah, it's not like the chicken curry like here in Germany, which is more the taste of curry and cream. But I think in India it's more like really hard spicy. You can't taste anything else other than the pain of spices. But what I really do like in India is the masala chai. I really love masala chai. And there you get the masala chai on the streets out of really big pots, and there are some men just brewing the tea the whole day, just putting spices in it and some milk and brewing it, and on the evening it's still a big pot of masala chai, and they going through the trains with that masala chai. You can buy it everywhere, and that really tastes so delicious, and it's so different from the masala chai you can buy for, in the supermarkets. It's not the same like Indian people are brewing. was the other thing? The one thing was that, and the other thing was indeed a funeral. We stayed at an homestay in Hampi, and the homestay was in a dead end street, and there was loud music suddenly. It's nothing special when there is loud music, because in India everything is loud. The cars are loud, the people are loud. The music is loud, and there's music everywhere. But this was live music, so real musicians were playing music instruments, and it was in our little street, and they were putting chairs into on the street, and in front of a special house, 2 houses far from our homestay. So I asked the owner of that homestay, what is happening? What are you celebrating? It looked so happy. And he was saying, we are celebrating the death of our oldest city member. And it was an old lady, and I was shy and didn't want to disturb, because here in Germany, celebrating funeral is very private somehow. But he said, no, you can't join it, and it's a happy thing, because if it would be a children's funeral, it would be very sad, because the child didn't get the chance to live its life, but this old woman had the chance to live a full life, and yeah, now she's with Krishna. And I was a little bit shocked, because I thought she was already brought down to earth, or somehow I wasn't sure how they celebrating funeral over there. I just knew it from Varanasi that Hindus get burned. They got like rolled up. The dead body got rolled up in a white sheet and then got burned at the Ganges in Varanasi. And I wasn't sure how they were celebrating that funeral there in Hampi. And so I joined the funeral celebrations, standing there a little bit on the side. And suddenly they carried out somehow like a chair with things to carry it, and in that chair, like, you know, when you call 911 ambulance, and there some sort of thing there, but with a chair to lean on. So there was sitting a little woman in the lotus seating of the yoga, and around her neck were hanging flowers, a lot of flowers everywhere. And maybe because of the smell, because it's very hot in India and humid. Over there it was in Nambi. And yeah, so they were carrying her out of the house, and then suddenly all the musicians and the people followed that body arranged in flowers in that lotus sit, and she was that white sheet, but you can see her face. So, and I can't really remember, but I have the idea that I remember that she had flower petals on her eyelids. Her eyelids were closed because she was dead. And so that was somehow strange, but somehow so beautiful, because here in Germany everything is hidden. Everything is hid behind the curtains. Yeah. When somebody dies, you only see it because of there is standing a black, most of the times a black van in front of the house, but with curtains on it, and so you're not able to see. You have no idea who's there in there, and you most of the time you don't recognize it at all. But there, there was no chance of not recognizing it, that there was a funeral, a dead person who was carried through the streets of the little village Hampi, there where the temple is, and the musicians played music, and they were throwing rice up in the air and flowers, and all the way, like it was like a wedding, or like a wedding march, and so we followed them because we were invited, and they brought her to the river. There was a little river, a small river. I don't know the name. It was really, really small. And I thought maybe they are going to burn her now and throw her ashes in the river or something like that. But no, they didn't. They dig a hole into that earth near the river, where the earth is going a little bit more down. And so they dig a hole, like a cave, a little cave in the earth, and then put the body of that small woman, she was very small, and then put her into that hole and put the blanket all over her, and gave her body back directly to the earth. And it was really beautiful, seeing how they say goodbye. Yeah, and it was really moving, and I think that's the reason for we are going to travel for the third time now to India. Every time we're coming back, we're totally heart smitten somehow, because there are so much poor people having nothing, but they're, even though nevertheless they're somehow happy and laughing and curious and fighting for life and existence and never giving up, somehow like that. I don't know if there are any depressed people. Maybe the rich ones are depressed because they forget what the real purpose in life is, but I have the impression that most of the poor people are having an idea what it's about life. Well, of course, I have a light saying, because I'm a European woman, and I have only an idea how hard it must be for women over there. I know how hard it is here as a woman, but over there or in many other countries, it's so hard. But I didn't get. I had no encounter witnessed some of that. I had the experience that in some places there are waiting lines when you wait for something to entrance a building and have to buy a ticket or somewhat like the Taj Mahal, or to buy a train ticket or something like that. There are entrances for women only, and public transports, train departments only for women. So I don't know if it's a real good idea, because actually I think it's better when men are making their minds up. Therefore no women have to, there's no need anymore for having a safe space for women, but that's somehow utopia. Yeah, and India has such a great, vibrant energy, and when you come back you're totally exhausted because it's so exhausting. It is so loud, there is noise everywhere, and there are people everywhere, and so many people all at once. But when you know what you expect there, what you can expect, all of the loudness, and then it's gonna be okay. So I think I'm very excited now, and a little bit afraid again, because I'm not in that good body condition. I have some hip pain and pain in my knee, so I'm very afraid of being not able traveling that hard like we have to with our backpacks, climbing the stairs up and down with our backpacks to the train station and the blah blah blah. But I am hoping that I will get a little bit more healthier over there because of the heat. Yeah. Here in winter times my joints are very painful. And yeah, I'm very excited but afraid too, but excited as well. And I think every time when you visit India, you come back like a little bit more different. It changes you somehow. And there is a saying that says, you never can twice into the same river. Is that the saying? Let me Google it. Wait. Yeah, the saying is really, it's from Heraclit. And the saying is like, you cannot step into the same river twice, which means it's the same river, but you will be different when you get the second time into that river. And it's like with India, it's the same. You are never be the same when you come back. You step into India like a person that does things like this and that and sees the world like this and that, and when you're ready with that vacation, you come back like, I don't know, it does something with your nervous system. It's like a reset without being in an ashram. You just have to travel and getting into touch with people, which is not very hard over there. Well, for me it is actually, because I am very shy and introvert. introverted, but my partner is really outgoing and really getting easy into contact and dialogues with total strangers. No problem for him at all. So I'm really profitieren davon. Well, I have advantage of that because he's so outgoing. Yeah. Okay, well, I think maybe you're asleep probably, and or just calm down and enjoyed a little bit my India travel experiences, which was just a little window out of that big experience you get when you get into a little bit strange land, like you don't know the habits there. It's not very European, it's Indian. Or when you travel to Vietnam, they do things like this and that. It's different than in Germany. It's in America, in the US, it's similar. It's European. They do things over there differently as well, of course, as like in Germany. But in the end, it's it's European-ish. But in India, it's so different, and I really enjoy that, and I will enjoy that, and yeah, I will let you know how it's going over there. Maybe I will shoot some videos and do some travel vlogs, like carrying you around with me and whispering. Yeah, let's see. And I think for that purpose I will carry my Xiaomi with me. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe I just will. Well, it's a very good quality, I think. I really like the quality. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But I will keep you up. Okay, let's have a sleep right now. I have to get up early, very early tomorrow morning. And maybe you do, and maybe you are very relaxed